Whoa, this feels like the final football match between two soccer warriors. Oh my God, can somebody please tell me what the African formation is? Oh, it's 4-4-2, amazing. Cool stuff. That's just super amazing, isn't it? Africa Business Radio is doing 4-4-2 on the news with 40% Nigerian stories, 40% African stories, and 20% global stories. Now that's what I call a homegrown, hot-drinking goal! Go, 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 go!
Catch the latest on global news at 9 a.m., 12 noon, 3 p.m., and 6 p.m. GMT on Africa Business Radio.
You're listening to the news at this hour on Africa Business Radio. I am Winston Ugo. Here are the headlines. Nigeria records 1,634 new COVID-19 cases, 6 more deaths. Nigeria's Northern Elders Forum urges herdsmen not to resort to self-help. South Africa anti-graft inquiry criticizes Zuma's defiance. Myanmar doctors stop work to protest coup as UN considers response. And now the details. And the news this afternoon, Nigeria has continued to record more cases of coronavirus as the total number of infections rose to 133,552 on Tuesday. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, disclosed this in a late-night tweet. It noted that 1,634 new cases were reported from 25 states and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, in the last 24 hours. Lagos topped the list of states with fresh infections, reporting 440 more cases, and was trailed by Anambra, FCT, and Rivers, where 160, 158, and 134 new COVID-19 cases were reported, respectively. The federal government has extended the linkage of the national identity number to subscriber identity models by 8 weeks. News of the extension was contained in a statement signed by a spokesperson of the Nigerian Communications Commission and the Nigeria Identity Management Commission. The commission, in a statement which was dated February 1, said the extension was approved by the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Issa Pantami. It added that Dr. Pantami stated that the extension is to give Nigerians and legal residents more time to integrate their NIN with the SIM. The new deadline for the exercise is now April 6. The governor of Zamfara State, Bello Muhammad Matawale, has announced the donation of the sum of 50 million naira to victims of the Sokoto main market fire incident, which occurred last week. The Special Advisor, Public Enlightenment, Media and Communications, Zeilani Bapa, noted that whatever affects the Sokoto people directly affects the people of Zamfara State. Governor Matawale said what affects the eye directly affects the nose, and they are basically the same people, and we must share our good and bad moments together. He said he was unable to visit the state last week due to the security situation arising in Zamfara at the time, but prayed for Allah to give the victims of the incident the heart to bear the loss, while also urging them to consider it as a special test from God. The Nigerian government is worried about the possibility of a scarcity of premium motor spirit in the country. The Minister of State for Petroleum, Mr. Timipre Silva, raised the concern on Monday at a late-night meeting between the government and leaders of the organized labor. The meeting was a continuation of the series of dialogues between both parties in a bid to persuade the labor unions not to go on strike over the increase in the price of petrol and electricity tariff. The Technical Committee on PMS presented its report, while the Committee on Electricity Tariff said its work was ongoing. Chairman of the Technical Committee on PMS, Onoche Anyoku, highlighted the areas where the government should work on to reduce the price of petrol. The Northern Elders Forum has advised law-abiding Fulani communities to seek protection where it is available and resist the temptation to take law into their hands. It also warned those attacking law-abiding Fulani communities, particularly in some parts of the south, to desist from such. NEF's Director of Publicity and Advocacy, Dr. Hakeem Baba Ahmed, in a statement on Tuesday in Kaduna, expressed concern over what he called reports of ejections and attacks on law-abiding Fulani herders in some states. The forum called on President Muhammadu Buhari and state governors to protect law-abiding Fulani communities from killers and criminals who think that Fulani have no rights in Nigeria. It said it has been receiving reports of attacks on Fulani communities in the south since the night of Sunday, January 31, and had taken the responsible step by drawing the attention of authorities to the dangers which these attacks represent for all Nigerians. NEF expressed concern over reports of ejections and attacks on Fulani herders and communities in some states of the south. A South African commission investigating corruption during the presidency of Jacob Zuma has faulted his decision not to obey summons to appear before it later this month. The commission, known as the Zondo Commission, termed Zuma's decision as completely unacceptable. Mr. Zuma is scheduled to appear before the commission from 15 to 19 February, but on Monday said he would rather go to prison than obey these summons. His defiance followed last week's order by a constitutional court compelling him to appear before the commission. The Zondo Commission, in a statement, said the commission reiterates that in terms of the Constitution, everyone is equal before the law. It added it would announce what further action it will take should Mr. Zuma not appear before it. Amnesty International says Guinea should investigate how 4 opposition members died in pre-trial detention. They were arrested in connection with protests last year against the referendum on a new constitution that allowed President Alpha Conde to stand again in elections, which he went on to win. Those who died in the main prison in the capital, Conakry, include 2 members of the Union of Democratic Forces of Guinea, the main opposition party whose leader, Cellou Dalein Diallo, came second in last October's election. The rights group also wants the immediate and unconditional release of all others detained for exercising their freedom of expression. It says that about 400 opposition supporters remain in prison, and many families are not informed about the condition of their relatives. You're listening to the news on Africa Business Radio. On the foreign scene, Jeff Bezos on Tuesday said he would give up his role as chief executive of Amazon later this year as the tech and e-commerce giant reported a surge in profits and revenue in the holiday quarter. The company said Andy Jassy, who heads Amazon Web Services, would take over as CEO in the third quarter. The announcement came as Amazon reported a blowout holiday quarter profits, more than doubling to $7.2 billion, and revenue jumping 44% to $125.6 billion. Bezos says he will transition to the role of executive chair in the third quarter to hand over the CEO role to Jay-Z, adding that Amazon is what it is because of invention. He said Amazon is presently at its most inventive ever, making it an optimal time for his transition. Jay-Z joined Amazon as a marketing manager in 1997 and in 2003 founded AWS, the web division of the company, which has been one of the most profitable but least known units of the tech colossus. U.S. President Joe Biden will sign 3 more executive orders on immigration Tuesday as part of a drive to erase the hardline legacy of Donald Trump, including an effort to reunite children separated from their parents at the U.S. border with Mexico. They are follow-up to executive orders that Biden signed on his first day in office as he reforms the U.S. immigration system after what was widely criticized as abusive anti-foreigner policy under Trump. The new action by the Democratic president is aimed at streamlining the legal U.S. immigration process, officials said, with Biden to order a review of all legal obstacles to immigration and integration put in place under Trump. A senior government official said the review will likely lead to dramatic changes in policies, saying the goal is to restore faith in our legal immigration system and promote integration of Americans. U.S. regulators on Tuesday said Tesla will recall nearly 135,000 cars to repair a computer memory failure that could pose a safety risk. The electric car manufacturer notified the U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, of the massive recall over the problem affecting the car's touchscreen that could cause a loss of some features. Tesla, in its notification to NHTSA, said the recall covers the 2012 to 2018 Model S sedans and the 2016 to 2018 Model X SUVs equipped with a NVIDIA Tegra 3 processor. Tesla said it will repair the issue at no cost to car owners starting in late March. NHTSA opened a preliminary investigation into the issue of backup camera failures in June 2020, adding that about 159,000 vehicles were affected by the memory issues. Tesla, however, said the recall does not cover those that already were upgraded to the Intel Atom processor. The newly formed Myanmar Civil Disobedience Movement said staff at 70 hospitals and medical departments in 30 towns across Myanmar stopped work on Wednesday to protest against the coup that ousted elected leader Aung San Suu Kyi. A statement from the group said the army had put its own interests above the vulnerable population facing hardships during the coronavirus pandemic. The virus has killed more than 3,100 people in Myanmar, one of the highest tolls in Southeast Asia. The statement added that they refused to obey any order from the illegitimate military regime, who demonstrated they do not have any regards for our poor patients. 4 doctors confirmed they had stopped work but did not want to be identified. China has blocked the UN Security Council statement condemning the military coup in Myanmar. The military took power in the Southeast Asian nation on Monday after arresting political leader Aung San Suu Kyi and hundreds of other lawmakers. The coup leaders have since formed the Supreme Council, which will sit above the cabinet. In Myanmar's biggest city, Yangon, though, signs of resistance and civil disobedience have been growing. The United Nations Security Council met on Tuesday but failed to agree on a joint statement after China did not support the movement. China has the power of veto as one of the 5 permanent members of the council. The UN Special Envoy on Myanmar, Christine Schreiner, strongly condemned the military takeover, which came after the army refused to accept the outcome of general elections in November. She said it was clear that the recent outcome of the election was a landslide victory for Ms. Suu Kyi's party. And finally, early results of an advanced study published in a British medical journal stated that Russian scientists say the country's Sputnik V vaccine appears safe and effective against COVID-19 in a booster shot that is increasingly being bought by nations around the world who are desperate to stop the devastation caused by the pandemic. Researchers say, based on their trial, which involved about 20,000 people in Russia last autumn, the vaccine is about 91.6% effective, and that the shot also appeared to prevent people from becoming severely ill with COVID-19. The study was published online on Tuesday in the journal The Lancet. Scientists not linked to the research acknowledged that the speed at which the Russian vaccine was made and rolled out was criticized for unseemly haste, corner cutting, and an absence of transparency. And before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. Nigeria records 1,634 new COVID-19 cases. 6 more deaths. Nigeria's Northern Elders Forum urges herdsmen not to resort to self-help. South Africa anti-graft inquiry criticizes Zuma's defiance. Myanmar doctors stop work to protest coup as UN considers response. And that's the news at this time on Africa Business Radio. You can continue to listen live online at www.africabusinessradio.com or via our mobile app. I am Winston Ugo. Good afternoon.
We are the wind in the sails of your business. We are your compass. Chart your course towards your targets. Africa Business Radio. Towards a profitable Africa.